Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Chachach. And double honors to our apostles, elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to other H.I.M and H.I.M that's out here sincerely keeping the laws and statutes and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. And this is Yachanan Nawach. Just coming at you with another quick lesson and praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And just hitting the record button, man, at the plantation. Listening to videos, as I ride, just checking out the elders, the apostles, seeing what's happening and going on, stay informed. Listen to these lessons, brothers and sisters, because, the men of the Lord are the real spiritual news anchors, the real spiritual meteorologists, man. Esau, he has his own news, and we look at it and listen to it and we filter it to see what's actually going on out here in the world. And we look at it from different angles, not just this American news, because America, Babylon the Great, they're not going to give you the straight skimpy on what's really happening out here, man, in the globe. They're just going to tell you that they're winning. That's a technique that the Egyptians used back in the days, which we know that this is spiritually Egypt, spiritually Sodom, according to the book of Revelation. And this place is, it's Babylon, man. It's Nineveh. It's all the spiritual wicked cities, basically, of the Old Testament, just on a new day level, because nothing is new under the sun. And this man Esau, which is the biblical name for the so-called white race, because they're not actually white. These people have the whole world, the whole entire globe, just fucked all up, man. And people are starting to see it, and it's like you can't get around it. And a lot of them are starting to see it. They know it, the lower level ones, but it's like a husband basically that just can't accept the fact that his woman is cheating on him. He just can't believe it. He can see it in full-fledged video. He can see her actually in action. He just can't get it. He just can't believe that his people, can be this wicked. They know, though. They have to know. I mean, it's like, look at this motherfucker over here. Fucking Edomite cop. He's sitting up in the damn trees. That's Esau, though. He's sitting up in the trees and shit on some disguise shit, you know what I'm saying, with the speed trapper. I seen him from a distance, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I kind of be making these routes all the time. I kind of know their little sneak spots. But that's the beauty of the scriptures too. That's spiritual, to know how Esau gets down. Because like I said, I travel this roadway, been doing the same thing. Got different routes that I do, check out different scenery. But overall, just in case, traffic is here, I can go this way. Traffic is here, I can go that way. You get used to little stuff like that. And as I travel these roadways, I know all their little hot spots. I know exactly where they be sitting at, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, too, I mostly drive with the vehicle on cruise control. So that way, they want to get to acting up. Like, nah, I was on cruise control, buddy. The vehicle automatically keeps the speed limit. My foot is never even on the gas until I have to resume or something like that. But anyway, that's the spirit, though, because Esau, he got traps like that set up in the spirit, and the only way that you can know is through the scriptures. That's the only way that you can know where his speed traps or where he's sitting at, trying to set you up, come to the court system, you know what I'm saying, to pay a couple extra, $100, $200 for a goddamn ticket, with this gas costing the way that it costs, keeping people in debt and just keeping people under. But a lot of these people do be wilding the fuck out, though, out here, when they be driving. So some of them need to be pulled over and stopped, and they shit taken from them. All this damn road rage going on. But again, it's spiritual to see Esau and know where he's at, how he gets down. And if you're not reading the scriptures, you're not listening to these videos from the elders, from the apostles, the bishops on down, then you're just out here blind, man. And the scriptures talks about, how Jake is just blind. Our people are blinded, man, to the fact that they are actually in the hands of their enemies, and that their enemies are their main goal is to destroy them daily. They really believe that they can blend in with this society, that they can blend in with this man's way of life, and that all you have to do is go get you an education, go to school, graduate, you know what I'm saying, and come out and just get you a job, build you a bank account, get you some good credit, get your credit score up, possibly meet your spouse. Y'all get together, y'all both got good credit, you put together, you save up a bunch of money, then you try and get you a house that you will never truly really fully own, because if you don't pay the taxes on the land, they're gonna come and snatch that shit up from you anyway. You can be on your last payment. Matter of fact, you can be done paid your last payment. You can outright own the house, but you will never own the land that it actually sits on, which is stupid as hell. This man, he's gonna tax you and keep taxing you and keep taxing you and keep taxing you. And then eventually, once you pass away, if you don't have children that's going to keep up with those taxes, if you're passing it on as an inheritance, eventually it's going to go back into their hands. So really, you're just, you're renting. You might as well just rent a damn place, man. You don't have to worry about no maintenance. You don't have to worry about cutting the grass. Let the maintenance guy come and fix your damn toilet, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Because that's pretty much overall what a house is. Other than you having a yard to get out into, you know what I'm saying, which is your feet away from your neighbors, where they can see over into your damn yard. They can see what you're doing, peer through your damn windows, because you really shouldn't even be that close to your neighbors like that. You should have some space amongst your neighbors, man. You shouldn't be able to smell your neighbors cooking, or hear your neighbors having sex, or hear them arguing with each other and shit. You should have enough distance where you don't hear any of that shit, nothing but your own peace. But anyway, again, Esau, he has set up a system where it's all about traps, man. Which I think it's a limitation where it talks about how they hunt our steps, where we can't go into our streets. This man is constantly on our ass, but guess what? Now the table is starting to flip. Yahweh is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So now the so-called white man, he's starting to be treated like the so-called blacks. They're starting to be treated like so-called niggas, man. They're the new Negro. And they can't take it. They're fussing, they're complaining, Shit we've been going through forever. They just, this little bouncing Betty out here jogging. I don't know if y'all see this little fine little Edomite. No, that damn. Salakia, y'all. She was fine as shit. Out here bouncing that it ain't even that warm out. It's 64 degrees. She out here in some panties. and a little bitty sports bra. Like, just crazy work, bro. But this is their, this is their world. This is what they wanted to get back to. They really want to just, summer roll around, they able to come back out and, go places. And that's the general mindset of these Americans. They're not looking at the fact that this place is at war. Matter of fact, Trump said that I'm not gonna say war. I mean, he was trying to use some other words. He was like, yeah, because if I say war, I would have had to have gone through the Congress and this, so he's using a different word as to it actually being a war. No, motherfucker, you at war, and you done it without going through the proper channels. And so now you done sent they done sent the 82nd airborne troops or whatever over there. I remember them doing training exercises here a few weeks back, and they cut it. And they was talking about how, okay, if they don't really do stuff like that, like that's rare. So they must be about to be shipped out. And I'll be damned if they ain't ship them out. They ready to go. I'm not sure if they've left already. But, this guy's talking about how everything is all good. They done spoke with the Iranians. And them Iranians is like, nah, man. They basically, they like, nah, y'all gonna give us reparations for what you torn up over here. We're still gonna be in control of the Strait of Hormuz. We're not giving up our uranium. They like, no, this war is over with when we say it's over with. And Trump looking real weak, man. They making all these speeches on stage and shit. Like, they just looking real, real weak. real weak, man. Iran got them really in a bad looking situation. It's not a real good look, and it's embarrassing. That's really what's going on. These people, and then he was speaking somewhere yesterday, and you got those extra pedophiles in the backdrop that's clapping and cheering for him. But the American people, the people, see, all those people that's around him, they just around him daily. They they don't want to piss him off, but the people, they like, nah, man, you fucking up. You are fucking up. And I have seen the Philippines. It's a lot of these countries, they're cutting into their energy. Like, so basically, I think they're saying, you can only charge your cell phones at a certain time of the day. You can only drive at a certain point in the day. You can only cut on your lights. You can only wash your clothes, I think, once on the weekend. Just saving energy, like, you know what I'm saying? Because the shit that Trump has done has really fucked up the lives of people all over the world. You got I think it's Australia, or is it Austria? One of those. They're in a collapse over there. They don't have no one lady looked like an Edomite. She was in the supermarket. She was like, we have no food. All the damn shelves was bare. They're talking about you basically can't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You can't get no gas, or you can only get a certain amount. Ride your bicycles, walk if you can. All this other little stuff like. So it's a lot of countries that's being affected by what's going on over there, man. With the shit that Trump and them is pulling off. And that's all by it's really by design, but it's also prophetic at the same time too, because we understand that, man's goings of the Lord, that the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Trump is not just out here just making decisions because he's this guy that's in control. The Lord, and matter of fact, the handlers that's above him, they're not making the decisions that they're thinking they're making. That's the Lord, man. You go into the book of Job, I think it's chapter 33, verses 15 down a few verses. It talks about how the Lord, when men go into deep sleep upon the slumber of their beds, roughly paraphrasing, the Lord programs them to do exactly what it is that he wants them to do. And that's exactly what's going on with America. See, it's all got a time set, man. It's like, it's no different than you going to work, and you clocking in. You looking at the clock, you like, man, shit, man, it's, it's almost that time. Shit, you started gathering your shit up, you grabbing your phone charger, you throwing shit into your bag, and you looking at that goddamn clock tick down. It's time to punch out. That's America. That's Esau's system, his whole kingdom in general. It's got a time clock to it. This shit gotta go. It can't run forever. The Lord got a border set for this man's kingdom. That 2 Ezra 6 and 9 says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And it's precursors in there in the scriptures that's telling you what's going to lead up to it. And so we can see the lead up. We can see the wars, rumors of wars, things that Yahushua spoke of. In Matthew chapter 24. Earth is given into the wars, rumors of wars, famines, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. You got signs in the skies. You got uproars of the people, because you're about to see some damn hunger, man, go on in this place soon. Because people I was looking at it was an article yesterday out in California. What's the gas station? The fucking gas, I think, was it $8.71 a gallon. $8.71 a gallon, bro. So if the gas, regular gas, so if the gas is $8.71, I don't know if that was the area where trucks or whatever will go through and diesel up or whatever. And it might have not been, because it could have been one of those, in certain areas trucks can't drive. But if regular gas is at $8.71, that would definitely put diesel easily at $12-13 a gallon. Because I know right now, and it's been inching up every day. It's over $5 a gallon here in Michigan. I think, again, the highest gas price that I've seen thus far is $4.19 a gallon, and that's crazy work for Michigan, man. Then they talking about shit in the gas tax. They don't want to do it though. So, and you know, these people don't care, man. And you got politicians that have no idea what gas costs. You might have a few of them that get into their car, you know, and drive. A lot of them be having personal cars, you know what I'm saying, from the job, you know, with gas cards, or it's not their personal car. So it's not like they're actually using her. Some of them have car pickups, you know what I'm saying, where they're being picked up. But we know for a fact that a Trump, J.D. Vance, and all those upper politicians, so to speak, you know, goddamn well, they're not pulling up at no gas station, man. You think Trump is paying for any? They're not paying for jet fuel, you know, to fly that big ass plane, fly his doofy ass down to Mar-a-Lago so he can go play golf back and forth. They're not. That's the taxpayers' money. That's not coming out of his pockets. Right? So the people are starting to catch on. People are sick and tired of the bullshit. And you're starting to see a lot more rage from people. People are, you know, people losing it. That's why we say pray. The scripture says to pray without ceasing. Walk circumspectly. You got to walk circumspectly. Be looking around, man. You know, because I'm out here in Edomiteville. You just never can tell when one of these motherfuckers gonna wig out and go off. Never can tell, bro. Because I'm in one of these cities right now. See, if you go outside of it, this is Trump City right here. You won't see no buses running. They don't allow buses out this way, because these Edomites, you know, they're racist as hell. They don't want, because they know Jake needs the bus to get out this way to get these jobs or whatever. You know, I see Jake. They got a stopping point where it actually stops. The bus won't go no further, and I see Jake walking for miles as I'm coming to work. They'll walk those extra miles just to get to the job that they work at. Then they have to walk those extra miles back to where the bus starts again. You know, so this is all Megaville. But guess what? You having public transportation out here could possibly help you right now, but of course you don't have it. So now you got to pay that $4.19, and it's hitting them over the head. Now you got to pay that $4.19 a gallon, and it's affecting all these little businesses that you see around here. Because people are like, you know what, I'm just going to bag me a lunch. I'm going to bring me a lunch. I see a lot of people doing that now. It used to be menus and shit in our cafeteria. It used to be certain restaurants that would come and set up in our cafeteria at the job. You know, cook, you can get you some shit right there. A food truck will pull up here and there every now and then. But all that shit, people not doing that no more, man. You know, people not spending $20 on no fucking meal. You know what I'm saying? They spending that shit. They putting that shit in the tank. You know, so Esau, you know, he's crashing his own spot, man. But it's all because he has a border. You know, he has a border. He has a time period, a time to rule, and he can't go no further. Even though he's gonna try, he's trying. But because he know that he had but a short time, he's gonna come down with great wrath. And they really trying to pull off some shit that they just can't pull off, man. They want that birthright back, and they want that blessing back, and it's not gonna work. So let me end out there, man. You know, I just wanted to just hit the record button, speak on a few things. Pray that the lesson was edifying. They continue to stay on point, keep your head on a swivel, and just watch, man, and pray. Continue to watch and pray. Don't slack on that, you know, and don't let this shit get you down, man. Fuck that. Get up, go and do what you have to do, and stay spiritually charged up, man. So with that, Kwame Yashala and a bubble ball.